The world had no heroes left. The skull had ended them all, one by one. Iron Man's armor lay shattered in the dust. Thor's hammer hung frozen in the ruins of Asgard. And then the sky burned red. A heartbeat echoed from beyond the stars. Superman had returned, not for hope, but for vengeance. The war for Earth's soul was about to begin. The last signal. The Earth was dead long before the smoke cleared. Skies once filled with sonic booms and thunder gods now echoed only with static. New York's skyline looked like a ribcage of melted towers, each beam whispering the ghosts of heroes who'd once stood there. In the heart of the silence, one name pulsed across every broken frequency: the Skull. He had come like a storm without a warning, a shadow wearing human skin, powered by the fragments of 1,000 stolen souls. Every hero who tried to stop him became part of him. Thor's lightning crackled in his veins, Hulk's rage burned in his breath, and Iron Man's armor had become his armor. The world's mightiest weren't defeated, they were absorbed. When the last resistance fell, the Skull raised his hand to the heavens and spoke one sentence that echoed across dimensions. Let no god return to save them. And for a while none did, until the sky split open. A streak of blue fire tore through the atmosphere, turning night into molten dawn. The oceans churned, clouds folded inward, and somewhere deep in the Arctic Circle, an ancient beacon flared to life. The fortress of solitude, long dormant, now pulsing like a heartbeat. The scanners inside locked onto the descending object, identifying it instantly. Subject, Kal-El, status, alive. The pod struck the ice at Mach 10, exploding into a crater that hissed with heat. Steam coiled upward, and through it rose a figure the world had forgotten. A man in tattered red and blue, eyes burning brighter than the sun. Superman stood, his breath heavy with grief, his face older, sharper, haunted. He looked around. The snow carried no sound, no heartbeat, no life. He closed his eyes, extending his senses. Nothing. Every hero frequency, every unique heartbeat he'd memorized, was gone. Then he heard it. A faint signal, weak, looping endlessly through static. It was Iron Man's voice, broken, filtered, but unmistakable. Cal, if you're hearing this, don't let it end like this. Superman fell to his knees. The ground cracked beneath him. His fists sank into the ice, trembling with rage. He whispered, "I won't." The fortress opened behind him, its crystal doors unfolding like wings. Holographic memories flickered. The Justice League, the Avengers, the laughter of worlds united. All gone. He activated the archive core. The hologram of Jor-El appeared, distorted by the damaged systems. My son, the universe bends toward chaos again. Vengeance is a chain, but sometimes it's the only thing that breaks the silence. Superman clenched his jaw. I'm not here for justice, Father. I'm here to finish a war. He flew east. In less than a heartbeat, he crossed the Atlantic. The once shining cities of Europe lay beneath crimson haze. Skull's energy grid stretched from London to Moscow, feeding off residual, heroic power. Towers of bone and metal pierced the clouds. At their cores pulsed glowing red reactors, powered by fragments of hero souls. As Superman descended, drones shaped like skeletal ravens circled him. Their eyes flared crimson. One scanned him and shrieked, "Unauthorized life form, Kal-El of Krypton, terminated." The first bolt of plasma hit him square in the chest. It didn't burn, it angered him. He turned his head slowly, eyes glowing, and unleashed twin beams of heat vision that sliced the sky in two. The drones melted midair, raining metallic blood. Within seconds, the entire swarm descended. Hundreds, thousands, all carrying the stolen powers of fallen heroes. One roared with Thor's lightning. Another smashed with Hulk's fury. Superman met them all head-on. He moved faster than sound, a blur of blue and red carving through the storm. Every punch shattered metal and memory. Every blow carried the pain of what was lost. He caught a hammer charged with stolen thunder and crushed it to dust. He ripped open a gamma-core drone and hurled it into orbit. But even Superman has limits. For every drone he destroyed, 10 more rose. And in the chaos, a shadow appeared, a towering figure of blackened steel and bone. The Skull's enforcer, a being forged from Iron Man's last armor, fueled by Thor's lightning, controlled by the mind of the fallen Ultron. Kal-El, it thundered, voice split into thousands of digital screams. You're trespassing on a world that doesn't belong to you anymore. Superman wiped blood from his lip. Neither does it belong to you. He charged. The collision sounded like a planet cracking in half. Shock waves leveled what remained of Paris. They traded blows faster than the eye could track, each impact tearing the sky open. The Skull watched from orbit. His skeletal grin widened as he whispered, "Let him come. Let him see what I've made from his world." Minutes later, Superman knelt amid ruins, smoke curling from his armor. He tore the Enforcer's core from its chest and crushed it between his palms, releasing a burst of lightning that illuminated the dead city. Then he heard again, that same looping signal. "Cal, don't let it end like this." But this time, a second voice cut through the static. Soft, female. "Clark, he owns what's left of us." Superman froze. That voice. Carol, Captain Marvel's frequency, buried beneath Skull's code. He stared toward the horizon. A crimson aurora shimmered across the clouds, a sign of the Skull's power grid intensifying. "Carol," he whispered, "I'm coming." He soared into the upper atmosphere, punching through layers of red energy until he reached the edge of orbit. There, beyond the debris field, floated the Skull's citadel, a fortress made of merged alien and human technology, glowing like a wound in space. He hovered for a moment, staring at it. The stars reflected in his eyes, but there was no hope in them, only fury. He pressed his hand to his chest. The S symbol flickered faintly. "For them," he muttered. "For every one of them." Then he rocketed forward, sonic rings exploding behind him, the sound echoing through the dead skies like the return of thunder. Far above, the Skull turned toward the incoming streak of light. "Ah," he murmured, almost amused. "The god of hope finally crawls home." He raised a skeletal hand. Energy gathered, a sphere pulsing with the essence of every murdered hero. The battlefield was set. The universe held its breath. Superman broke through the Citadel's shield and crashed into the throne chamber. The impact cracked the floor. Energy rippled outward. When the smoke cleared, he stood face to face with the monster who had ended an age. "Kal-El," the Skull said softly, "I killed gods, kings, legends. But you," he tilted his head, the bone face grinning, "you're the one I've been waiting for." Superman's eyes flared red. "You took my world," he said, voice trembling. "You made it yours. Now I'll take it back, piece by piece." The Skull smiled. "Then begin, Kryptonian. Let's see if vengeance can bleed." And as they stepped toward each other, light and darkness collided. The first war for the fallen had begun. The Skull's empire. The chamber shook with every heartbeat. Superman's boots pressed against molten metal as energy veins crawled beneath his feet. The Skull's throne was carved from fragments of destroyed universes, alien alloys fused with kryptonite dust and Asgardian gold. Each pulse of red light through the floor carried a scream, echoes of every hero who had died to power it. The Skull rose slowly from his throne. His armor glowed with stolen light, Captain Marvel's cosmic fire woven through Iron Man's Arctech, Thor's lightning running like blood through the seams. His skull face turned toward the shattered ceiling where the stars flickered dimly. "You came home to a graveyard, Kryptonian. My masterpiece." Superman stood silent, his cape fluttering in the radiation-soaked air. He scanned the structure. Every wall, every circuit carried a living signal. The Skull had fused consciousnesses into metal. The Avengers were alive, but enslaved, their energy fueling his empire. "You built a kingdom of corpses," Superman growled. "I built order," the Skull replied, stepping down the obsidian stairs. "Chaos was their legacy. Hope made them weak. I only finished what your kind started." The last word struck like a blade. Superman blurred forward, his fist a streak of light, but the Skull caught it effortlessly. The impact rippled through the citadel, cracking its walls. Sparks rained down as lightning and heat vision collided, filling the room with white fire. You can't kill what's already dead, the skull whispered. Superman gritted his teeth. Then I'll erase you. He released a pulse of solar energy point blank. The blast through the skull through his own throne, vaporizing half the chamber. For a brief moment, silence. Then mechanical laughter echoed from the smoke. From the wreckage rose the army of the fallen. Dozens of figures, twisted reflections of legends. Captain America's shield warped into a blade. Spider-Man's web shooters fused with nanotech claws. Black Panther's armor gleamed blood red. Every fallen hero remade into the Skull's army. Superman's breath grew heavy. What did you do? I gave them purpose, the Skull hissed. Their bodies were dust, but their power eternal. The clones charged. Superman blurred, his heat vision slicing through shadows. But they regenerated, nanofibers weaving instantly. He caught Captain America's twisted doppelganger by the throat and whispered, "Forgive me," before smashing him through the floor. He slammed Spider-Man's clone into a wall, sparks flying from broken web cables. "Peter, I'm sorry," he muttered as he crushed the helmet. But for every corrupted hero he destroyed, 10 more emerged. The Citadel's walls split open, releasing the Skull's endless legions. Above the chaos, the Skull hovered, his hands raised, drawing energy from the central core. "This world is mine, Kal-El. Your son belongs to me now." Superman looked up and froze. Through the torn ceiling, the sun itself dimmed. The Skull's citadel was siphoning solar radiation, the very energy that powered Superman's cells. He felt the weakness crawl into his veins, his heartbeat slowing. His cape sagged. The Skull smiled. "Do you feel that? That's your light dying." Superman fell to one knee, struggling to rise. He punched the ground, forcing himself upright, eyes burning red. "You think I need the sun to end you?" He grabbed the corrupted Hulk clone barreling toward him and hurled it into the air, punching it so hard it detonated mid-flight. For a moment, Superman bathed in the explosion's heat, absorbing it. His body reignited, veins glowing like magma. "I make my own sun." He flew straight into the energy core, a reactor powered by the stolen souls of heroes. The Skull screamed, "No," as Superman plunged his hands into the molten core, absorbing its light, feeling the memories of every fallen friend flood his mind. Tony's laughter, Thor's thunder, Natasha's courage, Bruce's burden. Tears streamed down his face. "I remember all of you." Then he unleashed it. A supernova burst erupted through the citadel, vaporizing legions. The Skull was hurled into the atmosphere, his armor cracking under the pressure. But the Skull was not human anymore. He stabilized midair, his bones regenerating, his eyes burning with cosmic fire. "You freed them, Kal-El," he hissed, "but you freed their pain too." He extended his hand, and reality itself warped. The city below twisted, buildings turned inside out, oceans rose into the sky. Superman flew higher, punching through the storm, trying to redirect the chaos. Lightning wrapped around him like serpents. The Skull appeared behind him, teleporting with a burst of crimson energy, slamming Superman through the clouds. They crashed into the ruins of London. Big Ben lay split in half. The Thames boiled into steam. Superman dragged himself out of the crater, his suit torn, his fists clenched. "You'll pay for every name on this planet. Every name is mine now." The Skull roared. He summoned the Soul Spear, a weapon forged from Dr. Strange's relics and Vision's Mind Stone core. The blade pulsed with trapped consciousnesses, screaming inside. Superman caught the strike with both hands, the blade inches from his chest, its energy burning through his skin. He pushed back with every ounce of strength left. The ground shattered beneath their feet. "You fight like a god," the Skull said, pressing harder. "But you bleed like a man. And that's what makes me better." Superman's eyes flared, twin beams blasting directly into the Skull's skull mask, cracking it. The villain staggered, the spear falling away. Superman seized the chance, grabbed the Skull by the chest, soared into the sky, and smashed him through his own citadel shield. The Skull retaliated, releasing an energy wave that disintegrated entire clouds. They clashed again, light against darkness, vengeance against void, and the explosion illuminated the entire hemisphere. Below, humanity watched from bunkers and shattered cities as two gods tore heaven apart. The skull recovered first, floating amid debris, his cracked skull face glowing like a dying star. "You can't win, Kryptonian. You fight for ghosts." Superman's voice was low, steady. "No, I fight with them." He raised his hands. From the scattered debris, fragments of hero technology reassembled. Iron Man's core, Mjolnir's broken hilt, Widow's gauntlets, Panther's claws, all drawn to Superman's energy field. The pieces fused around him, forming a new aura, a living armor of remembrance. Every strike he'd ever taken for his team pulsed in those lights. He flew straight at the skull. Their collision cracked the ionosphere. For a heartbeat, everything went silent. And then a shockwave ripped through space, knocking satellites out of orbit. The skull fell back toward Earth, crashing into the Pacific, vanishing beneath miles of boiling water. Superman hovered above the burning sky, chest heaving, armor fading. He looked down at the ocean. "It's not over," he whispered. From the depths, a crimson light pulsed, steady, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. The skull was still alive. Superman closed his eyes. "Then neither am I." He turned toward the horizon, where the ruins of Asia glowed with faint blue light, the remnants of something ancient awakening. He whispered, "Project Phoenix. Tony, I hope you finished it." And with that, he vanished into the stratosphere, leaving the world trembling, waiting for what came next. The war for the fallen. The Pacific boiled like a living wound. Every few seconds the surface burst outward in geysers of crimson light, the skull's heartbeat returning, deeper, heavier, faster. From orbit, the ocean looked infected, and Superman watched it from the edge of the stratosphere, fists clenched so tightly the air itself screamed around him. He had seconds before the monster rose again, but he wasn't heading down. He was heading east, toward the blue flicker rising from the ruins of Tokyo. Project Phoenix. The buried hope. Beneath what was left of Japan, deep under collapsed tunnels and half-drowned reactors, an automated vault opened as Superman landed. The entrance recognized the S symbol on his chest. Authorization. Kal-El, Project Phoenix protocol unlocked. A hologram of Tony Stark appeared, flickering, voice shaky, but still carrying that familiar arrogance. "If you're seeing this, big guy, it means we lost. I built Phoenix not to win, but to let one of us try again." Inside the vault stood something unlike anything on Earth. A sphere of blue-white plasma rotating within a cage of alien steel. Kryptonian matrices fused with Stark nanotech. Energy hummed through it, tuned to Superman's heartbeat. "Plug in Clark," Tony's hologram whispered. "Borrow every fallen friend you've ever had." Superman floated forward, placed his hands on the sphere, and screamed. Electric fire raced through his veins, each spark forming an image. Thor laughing over beer. Natasha's hand on his shoulder. Bruce saying it's not too late. Their voices layered over each other until it felt like the entire world was inside his chest. When he opened his eyes, they weren't blue anymore. They blazed in a swirl of gold, red, and lightning white. Every hero he had lost now lived through him. He rose through the ceiling in a beam of pure light, ripping through concrete, water, clouds, straight into the sky. The skull returns. The Pacific erupted. A mountain of liquid fire rose from the sea. The skull's new body, rebuilt from molten metal and cosmic bone. He was bigger now, a colossus of dark light, his spine a chain of glowing souls. The skull looked up, grinning through the flames. "Ah, a phoenix. How poetic." Superman descended through the ash clouds like a comet, every punch dragging thunder behind it. They collided mid-air, and the world went blind for 3 seconds. The shockwave flattened islands, split the sea like glass. The skull swung a hand the size of a battleship. Superman caught it, twisted, and snapped it at the elbow. Molten metal screamed. He punched through the skull's chest plate, and for a moment he saw them. Millions of faces, trapped inside, begging for release. He froze, and that pause cost him. The skull caught his throat and drove him through a volcano. smashing him into the core of a burning island. "Every one of them is mine," the skull growled. "They chose to live through me." Superman spat blood and stood, half his cape burned away. "They never chose you." He launched forward again, blinding speed, tearing through lava and sky. He kicked the skull through a mountain ridge, then followed with a blast of heat vision that cut a line to the horizon. The skull absorbed the blast. The runes on his armor flared and threw it back. The beam reversed, hammering Superman into the ground like a meteor. For the first time since he landed on Earth, Kal-El felt fear. The skull hovered above him, black lightning crackling around his fingers. "You're not a savior anymore, Kal-El. You're a relic." The skull slammed both hands into the ground. Crimson energy raced across continents, reactivating every skull fortress on Earth. From the ashes, the army of the fallen rose again. Millions this time. Superman stood in the center of the burning world and breathed once. "Then let's see how many relics it takes to bury you." He punched the air, and space itself trembled. Blue rays burst from orbit as Project Phoenix activated fully. Hundreds of dormant satellites came alive, each projecting a ghostly aura of fallen heroes onto the battlefield. Not physical bodies, but energy echoes, spirits turned into weapons of light. Captain Marvel's energy formed a blast field. Thor's thunder surged across the sky. Iron Man's AI core rematerialized inside Superman's mind, guiding the trajectory. "Welcome back to the team, Big Blue," Tony's voice said in his head. "Missed you too," Superman grinned grimly. The skies burned. The battle was madness, a cathedral of light and darkness ripping across continents. Superman moved faster than sight, a streak of blue fire cutting through legions of metallic shadows. Every punch was a thunderclap, every kick a solar eruption. He grabbed the Black Panther clone and slammed him into a skull drone explosion. He caught Hawkeye's corrupted form midair and whispered, "Rest," before turning him to dust. But the skull's power kept growing. Each fallen drone returned to him as energy. The skull rose through the chaos, absorbing it all, his form glowing like a living supernova. He threw a blast the size of a continent, pure crimson entropy, and Superman barely caught it. His arms shook. The ground split. The oceans rose in tsunamis. "You can't hold this forever." The skull roared. "I don't need to," Superman gritted. "I just need to aim it." He spun and hurled the blast back into space. The beam pierced the moon, leaving a scar visible from Earth. For a moment, both were breathing hard, two gods running out of energy and time. Then the skull did something that froze Superman's blood. He raised his hand, and the ground shifted. From beneath the earth rose a figure, familiar, broken, yet alive. It was Lois Lane. Her eyes were pale, her voice hollow. "Clark, he owns me now." Superman staggered back. "No." The skull smiled. "I found her soul wandering the void. I gave it home." Lois raised her hand, and a blast of skull energy shot through Superman's chest. He crashed into the ground, screaming. "Every heart you ever loved beats for me now," the skull whispered. Superman fell to one knee, clutching his chest. His vision blurred. He looked at Lois, her face trembling as tears mixed with static. "Fight him," he pleaded. "I can't," she whispered. "He's inside everything, even hope." Something snapped inside Superman. His heartbeat exploded like a drum of sunlight. Phoenix energy blazed through his veins, disintegrating the skull's infection for a moment. He took Lois's hand, and for one breath, her eyes cleared. "Then burn him out of me," she said. Superman nodded. He kissed her forehead and released a pulse of pure solar light. The skull's hold shattered. Lois fell limp in his arms, free but gone. He laid her down gently, whispering, "I'll finish this for you." When he stood up, the ground beneath him melted. His eyes blazed gold and crimson, his voice a growl from the sun itself. "No more chains. No more souls. I'm ending this now." He shot into the sky, breaking the sound barrier 100 times over. The skull followed, howling through the clouds. They met above the stratosphere, and the Earth looked up to see its sun turn blue. The Phoenix armor wrapped around Superman, energy from every hero channeling into him. He punched the skull so hard that the shockwave tore the clouds off the planet. The skull recovered, his skull mask cracking, energy leaking like blood. "This planet belongs to me." "No," Superman roared. "It belongs to the ones you stole." He grabbed the skull by the neck and plunged them both back toward Earth. The sky burned as they fell, a meteor of vengeance. They hit the ground outside Metropolis, and the world ended in light. The Crimson Dawn. The blast erased the horizon. Metropolis didn't fall, it dissolved into white silence. Every sensor on Earth went blind. For 30 full seconds, there was no sound, no signal, no sky. Then came the heartbeat. One slow, thunderous beat that cracked the clouds. Through the smoke, a figure rose, burning red and gold, wrapped in ash and light. Superman. Half his suit was gone. His eyes blazed like twin suns. Behind him, the crater where the skull had fallen stretched miles wide, a pit glowing with molten energy and fractured bones. But the war wasn't over, because from the center of that pit, something moved. A skeletal hand, black as obsidian, clawed upward. The skull dragged himself from the fire, half his armor melted, his ribs glowing like lava. His voice echoed through every device still alive on the planet. "You can't kill an idea, Kryptonian. You only make it stronger." Superman floated above him, silent. His cape tore itself apart in the storm. Lightning coiled around his arms, blue, white, and red, merging like blood and heaven. "Then I'll stop the idea," he said. "Right here." The skull laughed, a dry, hollow echo. "You still don't get it, do you? Every time you burn brighter, I grow darker. You're feeding me." He opened his chest. Inside, the souls of the fallen flickered, screaming, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain Marvel, all trapped within his ribcage like candles flickering in wind. "They're my power now. Every hero fuels me." Superman's fists tightened. "Then let's give them back their fire." He flew forward, faster than light. The ground exploded under the impact. He drove the skull into the earth, punching him again and again, each hit echoing across continents like thunderclaps. With every strike, the trapped souls screamed louder, but not in pain, in release. Superman tore open the skull's armor, reaching into the glowing chest cavity, grasping the heart of crimson energy that held them prisoner. "Let them go," the skull roared, clutching his wrist, energy flaring like a dying star. The light turned the sky scarlet, the Crimson Dawn. Across the planet, people looked up and saw two lights colliding. One red, one gold. Good and evil locked in final creation. Superman forced his hand deeper into the skull's chest, his own skin burning off from the energy surge. "You'll destroy yourself," the skull screamed. "I already did," Superman whispered. Then he pulled. A shockwave of light burst outward, millions of fragments scattering into the air, each carrying the essence of a fallen hero. Captain Marvel's glow shot into the heavens. Thor's lightning tore through the storm. Iron Man's arc energy rose like sunrise. The skull's body began to crack apart, leaking energy like blood. "You fool, you freed them, but you emptied yourself." Superman collapsed to one knee, smoke rising from his skin, his heartbeat fading. The light inside him dimmed, but the world around him started to shine again. Every freed soul became a spark in the sky, restoring power, color, life. The skull staggered, reaching toward the last ember of his strength. "You can't erase me. I am the void." Superman lifted his head, eyes hollow, but glowing faintly gold. "Then let the light have the final word." He pressed his hand to the ground, channeling every last ounce of energy into the Earth's core. The world lit up, a sunrise that lasted forever. The skull screamed once and vanished. The light faded. Superman knelt in the ruins, alone. The Crimson Dawn faded into blue skies. He looked up, whispering, "They're free now, all of them." And the wind carried their voices, faint, grateful, eternal. The final dawn. The world was quiet again. No screams, no alarms, no thunder. Just the soft hum of wind brushing over ruins that once held legends. Superman stood at the heart of what was once Metropolis, now a wasteland of light and dust. The crimson dawn had faded, leaving only a golden haze that shimmered across the air like the afterglow of a dream. Every building was gone, every monument to heroism reduced to ash. And yet, in that silence, life stirred. A single child, dirt-covered, trembling, crawled from beneath the debris. He looked up at the glowing figure standing in the distance and whispered, Are you him? Are you Superman?" Superman turned. His cape was gone. His symbol was burned into his chest, glowing faintly like an ember refusing to die. He smiled weakly, voice cracked from exhaustion. "Not for much longer, kid." He knelt and handed the child a glowing fragment, a crystal pulsing softly with the light of every hero freed. "Keep this safe. It's the last piece of hope this world has." The boy stared at it in awe. "What is it?" "Everything we were," Superman said. He rose again, his body shaking. His vision blurred as energy drained from his cells. The Phoenix power had burned itself out, but its purpose was complete. The souls were free. The skull was gone, and the sun was rising again. In the far distance, the ocean calmed, reflecting a sky slowly turning gold. But above it, where the light touched the clouds, something flickered. A black fracture, twisting like a scar across space. Superman narrowed his eyes. No, not yet. From the fracture, a shadow emerged, faint but growing. A figure made of smoke and broken light. The skull's voice echoed faintly through it. "You can't kill death, Kal-El. You can only delay it." Superman sighed. "Then I'll hold it off as long as I can." He shot into the sky one final time, breaking through the atmosphere, his body trailing gold fire. Every atom of his being screamed in resistance. His power cells were empty, his DNA breaking apart, but he kept flying. He reached the fracture and extended both hands. It pulsed against him, pushing back like a living wound. The energy tore through his skin, shredding what was left of his suit. He thought of Lois, of Bruce, of Diana, of every laugh, every battle, every heartbeat that made this planet more than a rock. "You took their lives," he whispered, "but not their meaning." He pulled the crystal from his chest, the one that still glowed faintly with a hero's essence, and pressed it into the rift. The fracture screamed, collapsing in on itself, pulling him in with it. For a moment, the world saw a blinding flash in the upper atmosphere, like a second sunrise. Then, nothing. No body, no trace, only silence. Days passed, then weeks, and slowly life began again. Grass broke through cracked concrete. Winds carried laughter again. And in the ruins of the Fortress of Solitude, that same child stood before the crystal Superman had given him. He placed it into the console, and it came alive. Holograms flickered to life. Iron Man, Thor, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Wonder Woman, and at the center, Superman smiling. "If you're seeing this," the hologram said, "then the light survived. That's all we ever wanted. Keep it burning." The child smiled. "I will." He looked up through the broken ceiling. A shooting star crossed the sky, glowing red and gold. The world whispered one name again for the first time in forever: Superman. And somewhere far beyond the stars, in the calm between universes, a heartbeat echoed once. Strong, steady, endless. The light never dies.